Clara stepped down from the truck, her boots crunching on the gravel driveway that led to Cedar Ridge Ranch. The vast expanse of the ranch sprawled before her, with golden fields stretching endlessly toward the horizon. The sky was a brilliant blue, dotted with fluffy white clouds that floated lazily by, giving the day an almost serene feeling. Yet, beneath that calm surface, Clara felt the flutter of nerves in her stomach. She was here under the pretense of being a new ranch hand, but her true objective was far more clandestine. She had been hired to spy on Ethan Matthews, the ranch boss, a man rumored to be hiding more than just secrets about his land. As she walked towards the main barn, Clara took in her surroundings. The rustic charm of the place was undeniable. The barn was a weathered red, its paint peeled in places, but it stood strong against the test of time. She could hear the gentle whinny of horses in the nearby paddock and the distant sound of cattle lowing. It was a world she had only read about in books, and now she was a part of it, albeit for reasons that weighed heavily on her heart. She joined the group of workers who were busy unloading supplies. The laughter and chatter among them created a welcoming atmosphere, and Clara tried to blend in, putting on her best smile as she introduced herself. "I'm Clara, the new hire," she said, her voice steady despite the racing thoughts in her mind. She knew that everyone around her was oblivious to her true mission, and she intended to keep it that way. The day unfolded with a series of mundane tasks: feeding the animals, cleaning the barns, and learning the ropes of ranch life. As the sun began to dip lower in the sky, casting a golden hue over everything, Clara caught her first glimpse of Ethan Matthews. He stood across the ranch yard, his silhouette strong and commanding against the backdrop of fading sunlight. At first glance, he looked like just another worker, but there was an undeniable aura about him that set him apart. She watched him as he interacted with the other employees, his laughter ringing out like music. Clara noticed how he moved with an easy confidence, his hands deftly gesturing as he explained something to a group of intrigued ranch hands. He appeared to genuinely care about the people he worked with, and that caught Clara off guard. Her initial assumption that he was merely a figurehead began to falter as she observed his kindness. She felt an unexpected pull toward him, a mixture of admiration and confusion. Throughout the day, Clara caught snippets of conversations about Ethan. "He's a good man," one of the older hands remarked, wiping the sweat from his brow. "Takes care of us. Always makes sure we have what we need." Clara nodded, listening intently, her mind racing. Was this the same man she was supposed to be watching? The rumors she had heard before coming here painted a different picture, one of a man involved in dubious dealings. But now, faced with the reality of who he was, Clara felt her resolve begin to waver. As the evening drew near, Clara found herself in a quiet moment, standing by the fence that overlooked the paddock. The horses grazed peacefully, their gentle movements soothing her frazzled nerves. She took a deep breath, trying to gather her thoughts. The mission felt heavier with each passing moment, as if the weight of her intentions was making it difficult to see clearly. Clara was here to uncover secrets, yet here she was, caught up in a whirlwind of emotions that complicated everything. The sound of footsteps approaching pulled her from her thoughts. Clara turned to see Ethan walking toward her, his hands stuffed into the pockets of his worn jeans. He wore a simple plaid shirt, the sleeves rolled up to reveal strong forearms. There was a warmth in his gaze that made her heart race. "Hey there. I noticed you've been working hard today," he said, a friendly smile spreading across his face. "How are you settling in?" Clara swallowed, caught off guard by the directness of his question. "I'm doing well, thanks. Just trying to learn everything I can," she replied, forcing a smile. There was a sincerity in his demeanor that disarmed her, making it difficult to remember her purpose. "It's a beautiful place you have here." Ethan's smile widened at her compliment. "It really is. I've put a lot of work into making it what it is today. But it's the people here that make it special. We're like a family." His words hung in the air, and Clara felt a sudden pang in her chest. How could this man, who seemed to embody such warmth and integrity, be the subject of her investigation? As they talked, Clara noticed the way his eyes crinkled at the corners when he laughed, the passion that ignited in his voice when he spoke about the ranch and its future. She found herself leaning in, captivated by his enthusiasm. "What about you, Clara? What brought you to Cedar Ridge?" he asked, genuine curiosity lighting up his expression. Caught off guard by the personal question, Clara hesitated. Part of her wanted to open up, to share her dreams and aspirations, but she quickly reminded herself of her mission. "I just wanted a change," she said carefully, keeping her response vague. She couldn't afford to let him see beyond the facade she had built. Ethan nodded, seemingly satisfied with her answer. "Well, I hope you find what you're looking for here. It's not just a job, it's a way of life." His words resonated deeply within her, and for the first time Clara questioned her own motives. The contrast between her purpose and the connection she felt with him was forming a chasm in her heart, one she didn't know how to bridge. As the sun sank lower, shades of orange and pink painted the sky, and Clara knew her time was running short. The day had slipped away, but the feelings that had stirred within her were only just beginning. She was supposed to be uncovering secrets, yet all she could think about was the man standing in front of her. Ethan Matthews, the ranch boss. If you're enjoying this story, make sure to subscribe to the channel, she thought, even as her heart wrestled with the mounting confusion. How could she reconcile her growing feelings for him with the mission she had accepted? The tension between duty and desire simmered just below the surface, and Clara was left grappling with her emotions as the first stars began to twinkle in the twilight sky. As Clara settled into her new routine at the ranch, the days began to blend together with a comforting rhythm. She woke early, her mornings filled with the sounds of roosters crowing and the faint rustle of hay in the breeze. The land around her felt alive, each sunrise painting the sprawling fields in hues of gold and green. Yet, as she worked alongside the other hands, her mind was often elsewhere, tangled in thoughts of Ethan Matthews, the man she had been hired to watch. Initially, Clara was merely an observer, blending into the backdrop of ranch life. Her tasks involved feeding the horses, mending fences, and occasionally helping with the cattle. Each interaction with the workers deepened her understanding of the tight-knit community, but her focus always returned to Ethan. He moved with an ease and confidence that was magnetic, commanding respect without demanding it. Watching him interact with the others, a heartfelt pat on the back here, a word of encouragement there, made Clara's resolve falter. When their paths finally crossed more personally, Clara felt a rush of excitement and trepidation. One afternoon, while she was cleaning out the stables, Ethan approached her with that familiar, friendly smile, his hands tucked casually into his pockets. "Hey, Clara, need any help?" She paused, the shovel poised midair, caught off guard by his sudden presence. "I'm okay, just getting through the day," she replied, trying to maintain her composure. "But thanks for asking." Ethan leaned against the fence, his gaze steady. "You know, it's not just about the work here. It's important to take a break and enjoy the land." Clara looked out at the horizon, where rolling hills met the sky, the vastness of it all striking a chord deep within her. "I didn't realize how beautiful it is," she admitted, her voice softer now. "It's different from the city, there's something peaceful about it." "Exactly," he said, his eyes lighting up with enthusiasm. "This place has a way of clearing your mind. You should come with me one weekend, I could show you some of the best spots." His invitation sent a thrill through Clara, but it was quickly overshadowed by a pang of guilt. She was there to uncover his secrets, not to become entangled in his life. Yet the thought of spending time with him was tempting, even intoxicating. "I'd like that," she found herself saying, her heart racing, "but I'm not sure how much spare time I have." The words tasted hollow on her tongue, a reminder of the mission she was meant to fulfill. Ethan shrugged, a light laugh escaping his lips. "Life has a funny way of making time for what matters. Just think about it." With that, he waved goodbye and walked away, leaving Clara with an ache of longing in her chest. As the days rolled on, Clara's interactions with Ethan transformed from casual exchanges to deeper conversations. They often found themselves side by side, whether it was mending a fence or sorting through supplies. With each shared moment, Clara's heart danced dangerously close to the edge of something more, something she had never anticipated. One evening after a long day in the sun, Clara found herself in the cozy kitchen with Ethan, helping prepare dinner for the crew. The scent of simmering chili filled the air, grounding her in the moment. While chopping vegetables, she stole glances at Ethan. The way he moved, efficient yet relaxed, was captivating. They worked in comfortable silence for a moment until Ethan turned to her, his expression curious. "What about you, Clara? What brought you to Cedar Ridge?" he asked, his tone inviting. Caught off guard, she hesitated. How could she explain her true purpose without revealing too much? "Just looking for a change," she said cautiously, hoping the vague answer would suffice. "Sometimes a change is all we need to find ourselves," he replied, leaning against the counter. His sincerity was disarming. "I needed one too. This ranch has given me a purpose." Clara felt her heart flutter. Here was a man who poured his soul into the land, who cared for his workers, who made sacrifices for the sake of others. It challenged everything she thought she knew. Was she really here to expose him or to discover the man behind the rumors? As Clara helped serve the meal, she noticed how Ethan interacted with the other hands at the table. He listened intently, laughed openly, and engaged everyone with warmth. The contrast between the rumors she had heard and the man in front of her was stark. "Leave a like to help the channel grow," she thought, realizing that her feelings for him were growing deeper by the day. That night, while lying in her simple bed, Clara replayed their conversations in her mind. She recalled the twinkle in Ethan's eyes when he spoke passionately about the ranch, the way he genuinely cared for those around him. She couldn't shake the guilt that gnawed at her insides. The more she learned about him, the more she wanted to protect him, to shield him from the very scrutiny she was meant to apply. Days turned into weeks, and with each passing moment, Clara found herself drawn to Ethan's kindness. He would often share stories of his childhood on the ranch, of the hardships that molded him into the man he was. These moments were intimate, filled with vulnerability, and they transformed the way Clara saw him. He was no longer a target of investigation. He was a man of substance, grappling with the weight of his responsibilities. Every time they shared a laugh or a meaningful silence, Clara felt her walls begin to crumble. The fear of revealing her true intentions loomed large, but so did the fear of losing the connection they had forged. It was a delicate balance, one that twisted and turned with every interaction. One afternoon, while they were tending to the horses, Ethan turned to her with a serious expression. "You're doing great work, Clara. It's not easy, and I appreciate it." His compliment warmed her heart, an unexpected balm to her growing anxiety. "Thank you. I'm just trying to fit in," she replied, her voice barely above a whisper. "You fit in better than you think," he said, his gaze steady. "People here can see your heart. It's important." His words lingered in the air, weaving a thread of connection between them that Clara couldn't ignore. In that moment, as the sun dipped low, casting long shadows across the barn, Clara realized just how much she was beginning to care for him. The mission that had brought her to Cedar Ridge felt distant, overshadowed by the feelings that swirled within her. She wanted to shout out her truth to the world. She wanted to tell him how she felt, yet the fear of the truth crashing down upon them paralyzed her. Clara was caught in a web of emotions, her heart longing for something she could not have. Ethan and the truth she had come to uncover. The tension built within her, leaving her torn between duty and desire, as the reality of her situation became overwhelmingly clear. The sun hung low in the sky, casting a golden hue over the ranch as Clara went about her daily tasks. The barns were bustling with activity, but her mind was a whirlwind tangled in thoughts of Ethan. The connection they had formed felt electrifying yet precarious, like walking a tightrope high above the ground. She had come to Cedar Ridge with one mission: to gather information on the ranch boss. Now every moment spent with Ethan made that mission seem not only complicated, but emotionally charged. One afternoon, while repairing a fence near the livestock pens, Clara caught a glimpse of Ethan in the distance. He was chatting with a few of the ranch hands, his laughter carrying through the air like music. There was an ease to his demeanor that was both captivating and unsettling. Clara felt a jolt of jealousy as a couple of workers cracked jokes, their camaraderie a stark reminder of her outsider status. Deep down, she longed to be part of that world, to share in those light-hearted moments, but the weight of her purpose held her back. As Clara worked, she couldn't help but overhear snippets of their conversation. "You know, Ethan really knows how to handle those cattle," one man laughed, slapping his knee. "You should have seen him last week when the storm hit. He didn't even blink." Clara's heart sank. She had heard whispers about the ranch boss's dedication to his work, but hearing it confirmed felt like an arrow to her conscience. Later that evening, after the sun had dipped below the horizon, Clara found herself alone in the barn, brushing down a horse named Daisy. The rhythmic sound of the brush against the horse's coat calmed her racing thoughts. Just then Ethan walked in, his presence commanding the space with an effortless grace. He approached her, a soft smile playing on his lips. "Need a hand?" he asked, stepping closer. The warmth of his voice sent shivers down her spine. "I'm good. Just winding down for the day," Clara replied, trying to keep her composure. But the truth was, her heart raced at the thought of being so close to him. Ethan leaned against the stall, watching her with an intensity that made her stomach flutter. "You've been doing great work around here. The horses really seem to like you," he said, his eyes sparkling in the dim light. Clara felt a flush creep up her cheeks. Compliments from him felt different, deeper than any she had received before. "Thanks. I'm just trying to learn," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. Their conversations had become a sanctuary for her, a place where she glimpsed the man beneath the surface, the one who cared deeply about the ranch and its inhabitants. Yet, as the moments passed, Clara felt the weight of her deception pressing heavier on her shoulders. It was in the following days that the tension between them reached a breaking point. Clara had been tasked with sorting through old files in the ranch office when she stumbled upon a document that made her heart stop. The papers revealed Ethan's true identity, not just a ranch hand, but the owner of Cedar Ridge. The information made her head spin. Everything she thought she knew about him was shattered in an instant. She felt like she had been punched in the gut, the implications of this revelation swirling chaotically in her mind. The man she had grown to trust, the one whose laughter made her heart leap, was not just a simple worker. He was the very reason for her mission. Clara's hands trembled as she tried to process this new reality. How could she confront him? What would she say? Days went by, and the internal conflict weighed heavily on her. Clara's heart battled with her mind. Each time she encountered Ethan, she felt those feelings of affection grow more intense. The moments they shared, a quiet walk, a shared meal, were tinged with a bittersweet ache. It felt as though she were standing on the edge of a cliff, teetering between honesty and secrecy. One evening, the ranch hosted a gathering for the workers, a celebration for the upcoming harvest. The atmosphere was vibrant, filled with laughter, and the aroma of grilled meats wafting through the air. Clara found herself at a table with Ethan, surrounded by his laughter and the lively banter of the crew. Yet as she watched him, there was a growing chasm inside her. "Look at them," he said, gesturing to the others with a proud smile. "This is what it's all about. Everyone coming together." Clara nodded, her heart heavy with the truth she needed to share. "Yeah, it's really special," she replied, her voice strained. She felt the urge to confess, to lay bare her heart and her mission, but the weight of her hidden truth felt suffocating. "Clara, is everything okay?" Ethan asked, concern creeping into his voice. She felt his gaze pierce through her facade, and for a moment, she was struck by how genuine he was. She began, but the words caught in her throat. How could she shatter the joyous atmosphere with her revelation? Just then, an unexpected wave of warmth surged through her. The laughter, the camaraderie, the way Ethan treated everyone with respect. They were all reminders of why she had started to care for him. A decision loomed before her, one that felt monumental. Should she reveal the truth, risking everything she cherished, or keep silent and protect the fragile bond they had built? The thought of losing Ethan, of seeing the disappointment etched on his face, made her heart ache. But how could she hide the truth any longer? As the night wore on, Clara couldn't shake the feeling of impending confrontation. Each glance in Ethan's direction felt heavy with unspoken words, and with every passing moment she felt herself getting closer to the edge of honesty. She knew she had to tell him, to face the reality of her situation and the feelings that had developed. With a deep breath, she sought out Ethan, her heart pounding in her chest. The laughter of the party faded into the background as she approached him, ready to confront the truth. But just as she opened her mouth to speak, the weight of her emotions caught in her throat. It was now or never. "Ethan," she began, but even as she spoke, she could feel the ground shifting beneath her, teetering between fear and hope. "There's something I need to tell you." His eyes met hers, filled with genuine curiosity and concern. In that moment, Clara realized that no matter the outcome, honesty was the only way forward. It might shatter the fragile world they had built, but it was the only way to truly connect with the man she had come to care for deeply. Comment on what your favorite moment was and turn on notifications, she thought, realizing that whatever happened next, they deserved the truth. It was time to face the music, to uncover the layers that separated them. The truth could either weave them together closer or tear them apart. Either way, she had to embrace it. The night air hung thick with tension as Clara found herself staring into Ethan's eyes, where warmth clashed with uncertainty. They stood just outside the glow of the gathering, the sounds of laughter and celebration fading into a distant hum. The weight of her revelation pressed against her chest, and she finally understood what was at stake. Would he be able to forgive her for hiding the truth? Could their fragile bond withstand the force of this confession? "Ethan," she managed to say, her voice barely above a whisper, "there's something I need to tell you." He nodded, encouraging yet hesitant, his brow furrowing as he awaited her words. In that moment, Clara felt the world around them shrink, reducing the vibrant celebration to mere background noise. It was just the two of them, standing on the precipice of honesty and vulnerability. Taking a deep breath, she steeled herself. "I was not just a worker here. I was hired to spy on you." The confession hung in the air like a storm cloud, and she watched for the flicker of disbelief in his eyes. But instead, she saw a flicker of pain. His expression morphed from curiosity to hurt in an instant, and her heart sank. "What do you mean, spy?" he asked, trying to mask the hurt with a facade of composure. "You came here to gather information about me." "Yes, but it's not what it sounds like," Clara exclaimed, her heart racing. "I thought you were hiding something, that maybe there was something wrong with the way you ran this ranch. I didn't trust you at first." The truth spilled from her lips, raw and unfiltered. "But the more I got to know you, the more I realized how wrong I was." Ethan took a step back, the hurt evident in his posture. "So, everything we shared, every moment, it was all just part of your assignment?" His voice was low, filled with a mix of confusion and betrayal. Clara felt a wave of sadness wash over her. She could see the cracks forming in the trust they had built. "No, Ethan, please listen," she urged, desperation clawing at her voice. "It started as a job, but it became so much more. I care about you. I really do." She took a step closer, longing for him to understand the depth of her feelings, to grasp how she had fought against the very mission that had brought her to him. But Ethan shook his head, the muscles in his jaw tensing. "You should have told me sooner, Clara. Trust is built on honesty, and you hid this from me." The disappointment in his eyes felt like a dagger, twisting in her heart. "I know I messed up. I was afraid of what you would think of me, of losing you. You made me feel something I haven't felt in a long time." Her voice trembled as she searched his face for a glimmer of understanding. Ethan's expression softened slightly, but his hurt remained palpable. "But what am I supposed to believe now? What if this was all a game to you?" Clara's heart ached at his words, and she felt tears prick at the corners of her eyes. "I wish it was a game, Ethan. I wish it was that simple. But it's not. Every laugh we shared, every moment of silence between us, it all became real for me. I fell for you, and I'm sorry for how this started." Silence enveloped them, thick with unspoken words. She could see the inner struggle etched on Ethan's face, the battle between the memories of their time together and the betrayal that now loomed over them. "It's hard to know what's real and what's not," he finally said, his voice a whisper. Clara felt the vulnerability of the moment pulling her closer to him. "I understand if you need time," she replied softly, her heart breaking under the weight of uncertainty. "But please don't walk away from what we could be. I want to be honest with you moving forward, to show you that my feelings are true. I can't change the past, but I want to fight for what we have now." Ethan's gaze softened, yet the pain lingered in his expression. "I just need to think," he murmured, taking a step back. Clara felt the distance grow between them like an insurmountable chasm, threatening to swallow the connection they had forged. As he turned away, Clara felt a rush of panic surge through her. "Ethan, wait." She reached out, her fingers brushing against his arm, desperate to retain some semblance of contact. "Please remember how it felt to be with me, how we connected. I believe in us despite the circumstances." He paused, his back still turned to her. "It's going to take time to sort through this, Clara. Trust isn't easily rebuilt." "Then let's start now," she said earnestly. "I'm willing to face the consequences of my actions if it means we have a chance." Their eyes locked again, and Clara could see the flicker of hope beneath the layers of hurt. "It won't be easy," he finally replied, his voice catching slightly. "But perhaps we can start over. I want to know the real you, not the spy." Tears of relief pooled in Clara's eyes as a small, hopeful smile broke through her worry. "It's a start," she said, her voice filled with renewed determination. As they stood together, Clara realized that the road ahead would be anything but smooth. But the willingness to confront their complexities and vulnerabilities offered a glimmer of hope. There was no perfect ending waiting for them, but there was a chance to build something genuine from the ashes of misunderstanding and deception. In silence, they resumed their conversation, both aware of the work that lay ahead but eager to share the journey together. As they began to open up, each word felt like a brick laid in the foundation of a new beginning, one built on honesty, trust, and an undeniable connection that refused to be severed. Clara felt the warmth of possibility envelop them, knowing that while the path forward would be challenging, it was theirs to navigate together. If you're enjoying this story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel